Good morning, afternoon, or evening, anime enthusiasts, and welcome to the Hidden Online Podcast. This is Callie.
And this is Quinn, here to help you embark on a journey through the latest and greatest in the anime world.
From shonen showdowns to slices of life, we try to cover it all.
We are your fellow anime aficionados, bringing you the latest buzz from the anime sphere, and we thank you for joining us in our adventure.
Are we on air?
We are on air, and it is Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Drinko, as we always called it.
Yeah, I was going to say, some people just, they completely skip the Cinco part, just go straight to Drinko.
Yeah, most people, I think they just use it as an excuse to drink. But it's super fitting that today is the day of Luffy's birthday.
That is very fitting.
It's super fitting. I can't imagine a better anime character to have May 5th as their birthday.
Agreed.
At all. And so for that, I raised my glass to Luffy today in his adventures. I am so excited.
Lots of booze, lots of food.
Yep. Tons of booze, tons of food, all of what Luffy lives for. Having fun and having a good time. So
having a good time with the boys.
And fuck the government.
True. True. He's a big fuck the government guy.
Yeah, big time. So, but yeah, so aside from that, happy birthday, Luffy.
Yeah, happy birthday, brother.
There is unfortunately a little bit of a lull in our anime news this week, just overall anime, but there's some really cool stuff. And the thing that I'm probably most excited about is the announcement that Bleach is getting not a new studio per se, but their Period Studios is making their own new branch or new sector called Period Films, and Bleach is going to them, and their dedication is to making anime to the level of film. So next season is going to be even higher top tier than the previous two seasons for Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War arc.
So Bleach is getting some more specific attention, not a rework, but just some very specific.
Yeah, some spice, some Demon Slayer spice. So that level of animation is what they're comparing it.
I feel like Bleach needs that. I mean, it deserves it for sure, but I mean, because it's such a high action manga. So, I think that they would benefit greatly from having really well animated fights. Just give it the whole budget. Give it everything.
Yeah, throw money at it. Bleach is arguably one of the best fighting animes that you could use or watch. Sorry, yeah. One of the best fighting animes that you could watch for sure. And there's so many cool fights and cool characters. And if you can get the level of animation that Demon Slayer has, or even just, to be honest, it doesn't even need to be that good because the last two seasons were top tier in my opinion too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 5 seconds into the first episode and you're like, I'm not ready for this yet.
Yeah, no, I stopped. The first line stopped me. I'll be honest. I don't know if I want to make some content out of it. Like record my reaction to it type content. So I'm still making that decision. Because, I guess this is not widely known. I just finished the manga. So start to finish, 480 chapters up to Blood War. And then now I'm excited to get into it. But I guess I just need to make that decision if I'm going to just watch it like normal or if I want to create something out of it and record the journey. Because I feel like it's going to be a good one and probably worth recording.
Your reaction to it would probably make for some decent content. I would definitely say that, especially this arc and the way that you've talked to me and privately outside of the show of how you've been feeling about the manga.
Yeah.
You're going to lose it when you start 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and you're going to have some fantastic reactions.
Well, I'm excited, man. I'm ready to see my boy Byakuya get into some stuff. And Ichigo. As far as main characters go, man, I love Ichigo.
It's funny you say that because yesterday my girlfriend asked me, she was like, who are your top 3 favorite anime characters?
Oh, shoot. You can ask me. Let's do that right now.
Yeah, well, we can. So I had to really think about this because I was like, are we talking like best animes? She was like, no, just your favorite anime characters. Because she thought, because Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorite animes. I was like, they're great. It is one of my favorite animes, but I wouldn't put their characters in my top 3 as far as like characters go. For me, number 1, Minato.
Okay, well, yeah.
You knew that was coming.
Oh, okay. So it's your 3 favorite characters from anime, not just main
3
characters.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be main characters.
Okay.
Just 3 favorite anime characters.
Yeah,
hands
Minato
down. Yeah.
for sure is it. Yeah.
Minato is my number 1. Ichigo is probably my number 2.
Ooh, okay.
Because I just love his character. I mean, and especially the way we've talked about it recently is I've realized that he is definitely up there for me as far as characters go.
Yes. The fact that like every time he has a character moment about fighting, it's always to fight for his friends, to take care of his friends, to make sure that they're good. So it's very relatable in a way, you know. If you're given all this power, what are you going to do with it? Well, I just want to protect my friends. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what I'm going to use my power for. It's cool.
Yep, absolutely. And then I don't even think I gave her a third one yesterday. But if I were to pick a third one, it's it's really hard because I have to think like across all the animes that I've watched, like who would be. And I lean so heavily into a lot of the Naruto characters because a lot of them just
they're so fucking good.
They're really well written. They have some really great characters in there. They have some really great character growth in different characters too. But I'm trying to avoid like having a third one. I would say that this was going to be kind of like out of left field, but, I would, I don't know. Let me think a little bit here. Let me think a bit. You go first, and then okay. I'll figure out my third one while you're chatting.
So a top 3. That's very. It's just like a general like these are my 3 favorite or the favorite of all time. Is it because like you have characters you like for different reasons. Mm-hmm. I could pick 3 from Naruto, and but I do have 3 favorites from Naruto. I could list those easily, but when you add in other anime, it does get a little tricky. Minato is up there for me. Is he top 3 overall? That's hard. He's in my top 3 in Naruto. Him, Itachi, and Rock Lee are my top 3 in Naruto. Naruto's probably my favorite anime that I've seen to date.
Yeah, until you finish Bleach.
One of those 3 are up there. Well, see, and I don't doubt that. I haven't seen a lot of One Piece, but I do like Zoro. I think he's cool. And the other dude. What is his name? The swordsman in One Piece. The guy with the massive sword.
I can't remember his name. I can't remember.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough. And he's really not even in the show that much. That dude's badass though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go 3 off the top.
Yeah, these can change down the road too.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Rock Lee. He represents too much good. I love his character design too, cause it's goofy, but it works. Let me do. Gosh, Ichigo is up there, but so is Byakuya.
Yeah, Byakuya is a great character to choose too.
Fuck, this is hard.
It is when you really sit down and think about it.
3, 10 would be a lot easier,
but
in no particular order.
Yeah, but when you have to condense it down to like, okay, you only have 3 to choose. Which 3 do you choose?
Yeah, that's really freaking hard.
Yeah,
I don't like this. I'm gonna say, and we're gonna talk about My Hero soon. I think Bakugo is up there for me.
Okay, gotcha.
I like that character.
See,
this is hard.
I was gonna say, so like when I think about like all the animes that I've looked through, I try to look at like what I like about the characters individually, what kind of growth they get, why I like them, and it's really hard because I've seen some really good like what I would consider underrated, under the radar animes that not a lot of people have seen, where they have characters where you're just like, fuck, these are some of the best characters that I've ever seen.
See, you've seen a lot more anime than me, so it's probably even harder for you to pick.
It's so hard. So my first instinct, this is probably going to change down the line, but maybe just because I was just recently rewatching this, but there's this anime called Code Geass.
Okay. Yep. I've heard of that.
It's for the same reason I love Full Metal Alchemist. It's one of those animes where once it's done, it's done. Like they actually complete the ending. It has a great ending. It's closed. It's nice. It's neat. I think it's only like 2 seasons in total. like 50 something, 60 something episodes. But the main character and the whole story is just so good. And I'm like, my first instinct is to say I want to put Lelouch, the main character, as my number 3 right now. But maybe that's just because I've been recently watching it. So
yeah, recency bias is very real.
yes, yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
real.
You know what? Maybe you could try and knock out. Did you say your 3? What were your 3?
I said broccoli. I'm just gonna say Byakuya, because of recency bias, probably, and
then Bakugo, right?
Bakugo. Yeah, I'll say Bakugo. Yeah, those are 3 that, gosh, and those could interchange too. But those are 3 that I really, really like. They could easily be a top 3 for me, and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to touch on that more in depth on a later episode.
Now,
just do a whole episode about it.
What's funny too is a lot of characters I like, they might be questionable, like Suguru Geto. Like, he's one of my favorite characters in anime, just because I think he's very well written. No, and then people are like, well, okay, well, what about that genocide thing? I'm like, what genocide?
What murder?
Same thing with Aaron, Aaron apologist.
What about the people he murdered? What murder?
Yeah. Gosh, well, we could make a whole segment on this, but
yeah,
do we have
absolutely.
any other news reports?
Yeah, there's one more thing. So, this affects our review because we've been planning to do go reviews in concession with Kaijue and all the other ones.
Yes, we are on a hiatus.
One last thing, unfortunately, Go Loser Ranger. It got delayed this week. Apparently, its time slot
of all things, buddy.
Yeah, its time slot got pushed by golf-related coverage. Is what the online interwebs is saying to us.
Is golf big in Japan?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure baseball is.
Baseball is big in Japan. It's very, very big in Japan, but I'm not sure. I'm not as deep into the sports culture. However, as we've discussed before, the further we go into venturing into new animes and stuff, we might learn a little bit more about golf's favorite sports. Golf's, Japan's favorite sports. Jeez.
We're going to go on our sports anime arc, and I found my next target.
What's that?
A little show that you might know called Birdie Wing.
Oh Lord, yes, I've seen it. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it, but
Golf Girl's story. There's 2 seasons. It looks intriguing. It looked intriguing before I read the comments, but the first comment absolutely makes me want to watch it. This dude just said this show has no business being this good. 5-star review. Doesn't like sports, doesn't like golf. No business being this good. That's about as good of a review as you can get. So,
yeah, that's true. Especially if you're not into sports, don't like golf,
and I like golf. So, and I'm into sports.
Yeah. Well, it might be something you get into. I'll let you watch it first, and you let me know. I got too much on my plate already, so
I might become Birdie Wing's #1 fan.
You might. Hey, sing its praises. We got a podcast for that.
Golf Girl's story. Yes, ma'am. Yes, girl, yes. Golf them balls.
Golf them balls,
that sounds kind of rough. That sounds bad.
Bit, yeah.
All right. Okay, so no go.
No go for review this time around. We'll have to wait till next week, and then we'll chat more in depth. Hopefully, hey, you know what this means though? It's going to catch up with episodes for Kaijue, so they'll end around the same time.
Unless something weird happens, that's actually really nice. They'll sync up well.
Yeah. Unless there's more golf-related coverage, yeah.
And now we were going to have our plate full this week with our review, having 3 reviews, but now we have Kaijue still, right?
Yep.
And now we have starting back, baby. First week back, baby. My Hero.
Yep. Actually, so for My Hero, I want to start with that one.
Yeah.
I want to start with that one because it has been so long, and it was so nice to jump back into that universe again.
Man, it felt good.
It felt
like I never left.
Yep. It was so nostalgic.
And Dude, I mean, the action, it's right off the bat. Right where we left off.
I called it. We were
Yeah.
chatting about this. I was like, first episode is going to be Stars and Stripe fighting Shigaraki,
Yep.
like right at the top there. And I don't read the manga. I was like, this is what's going to happen because they
I
set it up.
I don't know anything, but I have heard praise of this fight. I heard this fight's awesome. And so far, it's pretty awesome.
It's so good so far. I was so glad we finally got to see her quirk because I was sitting there wondering last season, I was like, what is her quirk going to be?
Bro.
All right, so before we jump in, let's start from the beginning. The beginning.
I want to laugh real quick about the way that Japan sees America.
What do you mean?
Man, like we're just bros. We're bros and dudes. Like the way that they were represented, like the U.S. Air Force and Star and Stripe and all her squadron. She's like, "Come on, bros, come with me."
She put them all in the bro zone, dude.
Yeah, she bros.
Of course, I don't think any one of them looked man enough to take on someone her size.
No,
I think
that's an all my only.
that's
all my only, buddy.
That woman is stacked. Oh my gosh,
mummy.
She scares me.
Hey,
but yeah, so it was awesome to see her just walk in and be like, "Bros, we got a job. We're going to break some rules. You're going to come help me do this thing. We're going to get it done." It's like, I can't leave my mentor and leave Japan suffering. So we've got to go take care of this guy.
America is in the fold.
Mm-hmm. But before that, so the way the episode started off, it was kind of nice how they did like a quick, not like huge recap, but this writer is real good at reminding you of how sad this world really is. Bringing you back to the arguably, in my opinion, one of the saddest fucking scenes of the entire series, last season's ending. Last season's ending was just a tearjerker.
With Deku. Yeah. He's going through it.
Yeah. Doing that flashback and seeing him that speech again right at the top of the episode, it's like, oh man, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the sadness.
Yeah, it was good. And that, that reminded me of my boy Bakugo, where he had that moment to step in and have like a heart to heart with Deku near the end of last season. Mm-hmm. That was really cool. Yeah. And all Deku's friends like having his back there. It's just, it's good storytelling. It's compelling. It's emotional. It's fun.
Yeah. It's super good. Yeah, I wouldn't put Deku in my top 10 favorite characters, but I would put the series as like.
Nah, he cried too much.
He does cry too much. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Everyone needs a tearjerker.
Yeah,
but he definitely cries too much for me.
Yeah, he abuses his power a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Listen, buddy. We already cried this episode. We're not doing it again.
He's using his cry no jutsu right now. That's
no jutsu. Yeah. Gosh.
So, but we got that.
Despite we talked a little shit on him. He's a beast though. He cries a lot, but he's a beast.
Yeah.
And he does have that dog in him.
Yeah, he's the MC though. He's got to be a beast,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, he's the how many MCs do you know that aren't a beast in their own right,
Me. I'm the main character of my story.
No, don't put yourself down like that, bro.
Nah, I'm gonna start crying like Deku. Hold on.
Oh, no, don't do that.
A second. Crying on air.
But yeah, so we got that nice little recap right at the front, get a little bit touch of like how they're kind of acclimating to being back and things getting relatively normal as like the calm before the storm, as they described it as well. And then we get, I can't remember if this happened in what order, but when did the scene between Spinner and All For One happen? Did that happen before
the
or
fight,
in the middle?
Sure.
Yeah, I think they may have like set up she was heading to the fight, and then that scene cut to, and then the fight came up on them.
Yep, they did. There was a like, hey, I'm baiting her to come here because I want that power, and then it eventually transitioned over to Shigaraki.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk to you about that conversation though, because I thought it was really interesting. He dropped two interesting things that I wanted to hit, which was how much interest he has in Stars and Stripes quirk which
Yeah,
we'll talk
I'm
about
glad
later.
you took notes on this because, man, I was just sitting there watching, having fun, not doing my job at all.
It was a very good episode, but I did have to sit down and be like, okay, I gotta actually analyze this a little bit.
Yeah, well,
But
thank you.
I thought it was super interesting how he's interested in this quirk, and we didn't know what the quirk was at the time, but now later in the episode you learn, which is why you could definitely see why he wants it, which we'll discuss in a little bit. But the other thing I thought was interesting was him talking to Spinner and saying, I need you to basically go out and be the face of like heteromorphs. Trying to utilize him as like the figurehead to like recruit as many of them
Basically,
as possible.
like trying to keep the whole like liberation thing going, right? Was that his?
So the liberation is part of the League of Villains now, or whatever they're calling themselves. I think it's all kind of like one entity trying to just destroy the world at this point. But I think
when they lost Reed, it wasn't Reed Destro there, like.
Yes,
the face of that whole thing.
And because of them losing Reed Destro, they kind of just like joined in with the antics that the League of Villains are pulling right now.
Yep.
But what it looks like to me is that All for One is using Spinner as the face of heteromorphs to try and convince those like stray heteromorph people who have been like castigated in society and to join, like. Because we saw that a little bit in the last season, where there was that heteromorph that like Deku helped, and then at the end in the final episode, when he's like come back and people are like trying to kick him out, she comes up to him and is like, he saved me.
Yeah.
But that was a good example.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a good example of how society was like treating the heteromorphs. So like it looks like all for One is trying to kind of like feed into that negativity and pull them to his side.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of playing multiple fronts in this war that they got going on too.
And I think he's got a lot of contingencies in place too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's some bad stuff is going to go down before the end of this. Do we know if this is the final season, or are we getting more?
This is not the final season.
Okay. I mean, I feel like they would even state that if it was, right?
Yeah. This isn't the final season. This isn't going to be the end.
Good.
If it is, I'll eat my words when we find out, and I will apologize to the audience and tell them, I'm stupid. I
guess
wrong.
It depends on how long it goes. If we're going to get a 12 season or a 12 episode season, or if we're going to get a longer one. I feel like My Hero's seasons have been longer. I would have to go back and check their episode lists, but I felt like the episode count was longer. They do like their like mid-season break, don't they?
I
feel like they did
I believe they will. Yeah. From what I'm seeing online, it looks like they're expecting next season to be the final season.
Oh gosh. Okay. I mean, so we're close.
Close. We are close. Yep. We're on the precipice. Yep.
Which means a lot of stuff could definitely be going down this season.
I guarantee you, we're going to get a whole bunch of information dump for sure.
Do you think we're going to get any character death? Like some beloved characters.
I love good beloved character death whenever we can get it in, but I'm not sure. I try to think back to the entire series, and you're on the 7th season, and how many beloved characters, have actually died?
Not many in My Hero.
I can't think of any right now.
Wait.
That have actually died, except for what? Night Eye? I think Night Eye is the only one I can think of.
Yeah. He did. I was gonna say Lemillion, but he did not. He just
lost his power. I don't think that this writer uses a lot of character death, which is fine. That's not a problem. That's the same issue with like Black Clover. Black Clover doesn't do a lot of character death either.
I never see a situation where the story would not have been better with character death. Like, take Black Clover. It's good, yeah. But then now take a different version of it where they've killed off characters. It's probably better.
Yeah. That was something that was originally planned for Naruto that I've talked to you about before.
Yes.
And I feel like that would have been better too. There were certain characters that were supposed to be killed off.
Yeah. Now, the timing of when they were killed off, I feel like after Shippuden, like near the end of Shippuden, if more characters had died, it would have hurt really, really bad. Versus the end of original Naruto. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the Shippuden journey was a little deeper.
Yeah, but I think too that if we're thinking about character growth overall, I think that it would have pushed certain characters to grow faster and in different ways if the deaths happened earlier on. But anyways, we've strayed off from. Let's get back to our review.
Yes. One last thing on that character death. They may as well have just killed my boy off at the end of Naruto, Rock Lee, because they completely wasted his character in Shippuden. Yeah, they did nothing with him.
Yeah, they did.
Yep. So anyway,
I saw something. Real quick, since you're talking about Rock Lee, Mike Guy, I saw something online the other day where someone was like, their theory was the reason why Mike Guy couldn't have died at the end was because if they brought him back with a reanimation jutsu, he would have just spammed the 8 gates over and over.
Oh my gosh, that's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, he would have folded everyone.
Yeah, so bad. Oh gosh. But all right, so back to the review. So we touched a little bit on the spinner conversation with All for One, and after that, that's when the fight basically started. Like you've got Stars and Stripes coming in on these stealth bombers, Shigaraki on top of a Nobu flying in the air,
flying Nobu.
Yep, yeah. And they're just facing off, and this is when we finally get to learn about the quirk, which is arguably, I don't know what you think about this, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. New Order is probably one of the coolest quirks of the entire series.
Yes, it's OP. Now, it has some parameters, but man, it's so strong. I'm just imagining what you can actually pull off with this. Now, she can only have 2 going at a time, and one of them is constantly keeping herself.
Well, explain, what do you mean by 2 going at a time, just for the listeners?
She can only set 2 rules. She can only change 2 rules at a time. So
to anything that she touches. Yeah.
To anything she touches, yeah. And one of those, if I'm not mistaken, is herself, keeping herself jacked, right? Like,
she has 1 rule on her at all times to basically give her like superhuman strength.
Okay. Yeah.
But there are limitations to that too. Yeah, she's not even as strong as All Might apparently, but she is still above average of anybody else.
Yeah. So that means let's just take that and set that to the side. She can keep 1 rule enacted at a time. Mm-hmm. So it does limit it. I mean, otherwise, dude, that would be very, very broken if she had anything more than that.
Yeah, and there's a couple other limitations that I saw too, which was one, as Shigaraki kind of works out during the battle.
Perception thing.
Yeah. Well, so it's a matter of, so like it seems like inanimate objects or non-conscious objects like air, rocks, those types of things, as long as her understanding of them is what they are and they have no conscious will or different perception of themselves, then she can touch it and put a rule on it. But it seems like it would be different for something like a dog or a human that might have a personality of its own, because during the fight she does touch Shigaraki and tries to set a rule on him. But because of his internal battle right now, where All for One is like morphing or trying to take over or joining and creating a whole new consciousness within him, he has no idea who he is right now. And because his perception of himself isn't as Shigaraki, she couldn't set that rule on him. Yep.
Yeah, and she was figuring that out throughout the fight. But man, how cool is it though? The lasers. She said, "Bros, give me the lasers." So sick. Yeah, she's just like sitting here channeling the lasers from these stealth bombers. And I think the episode ended with her just smashing down on this guy, right? Like, I mean, she was just like raining down with that laser energy.
So at the start of the fight, she like touched the air and then like made all the air around him just evaporate, or just completely gone. And later on, she did something similar where she touched the air, but she made like a giant copy of herself using air.
Boom!
Compressed air.
That's right. Yeah.
And then she used that giant copy of herself to to grab the
the
lasers
laser.
and basically make like a giant laser lance.
Yeah, it was like some like Zeus looking stuff.
And just stabbed him into the ground. And then while she's holding him down, the United States calls in because she called in a favor, and they send a whole bunch of like, not nukes, but they said like a new type of like missile or like a new type of missile or something like that.
Yep. So that's right. And she was saying his body was sitting there breaking under pressure, but I guess it just kept regenerating. It was enough to stay in place.
His regeneration skills are insane, or his ability is just nuts. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, she's very strong, but gosh, man, I have a bad feeling this is not going to go in her favor.
I have that feeling too, because she's strong, but she's also. Here's the thing: at this point, characters like Shigaraki and Deku, where they have multiple quirks, it's gonna be real hard for a character with just one quirk to be able to combat them. She may be really, really strong, and she may be on par with maybe All Might's strength, but it's going to be real hard for her to beat him. And we know he can't die here because he's the main villain. He can't die yet. He just can't.
No, he can't. So there was an interesting note too. In this episode, they mentioned that America, the United States, was the birthplace of heroes. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I'm glad you said that. Yep.
So I just to make sure I understood that correctly, so I went and looked it up. It says that the concept of the hero license system was first developed and established in Rhode Island in the U.S.
Within the My Hero,
within that world, yeah.
Gotcha.
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense because My Hero is kind of like it seems like heavy influence from the Marvel, DC, just the classic comics.
For sure.
You know,
and hey, America will capitalize on and monetize, anything. So
yeah,
let's make a job out of this.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think that it's kind of like the Kaiju number 8, where when something starts becoming enough of a problem, you have to form an entire organization to resolve that problem.
Yeah.
So, with this is that if you start getting a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of powers just coming in and wrecking the rule of society, we're going to have to put in some sort of institution.
Got to have some order.
Yep, exactly. So I think for the most part, unless you've got anything else, I'm ready to give this one a score. I'm actually really happy with this episode.
Yeah, no, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in the MHA verse. So yeah, you hit me. Yep. Hit me with this score.
This one's gonna get a high one for me. I'm going 8.2 on this one.
Nice, 8.2. Okay.
Yeah. Gosh. I think it was well balanced between the getting some lore drops, some history, some world building, and then a nice fight. Like right off, great way to start a season. I think it was a good one. Yeah,
and the animation felt good too. I'm gonna be right there around you. I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna just go solid 8 because it was good. It was really good.
It was a solid episode. I'm excited for this season, man. I think we're gonna get some 9s out of this season, probably.
Yeah. And if my boy Dobby, if Toya Todoroki shows up, it's gonna be a high ranking episode for me. I gotta see him fight, and I have a feeling he's gonna end up fighting Shoto. I think that's gonna be their the climactic part of their story arc. The brothers, obviously we know Deku and Shigaraki. Eventually, they have to throw hands again. Do you have any other projected or predicted fights?
Not right now, I don't think. As far as who I think is going to be matched up with who.
Yeah. Do you think All Might is done fighting for sure, or do you think he's got maybe just a little bit left in the tank for one more?
I don't know if he's. I don't know if he's done.
He's gonna make it, bro.
I don't know if he's done fighting. But I don't know if he's going to come back because I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to be able to lean on his quirk enough to actually go and fight.
I feel like he's going to lean on it just enough to make a final sacrifice, and I think, and that is so sad to say. I don't want to see him go, but man, what would hurt the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
All
be a
Might.
sad. It may need to happen for it to give you the feels, the fifis that you need for this series. But I think it'd be cool, even though All Might doesn't have a quirk right now. It'd be cool if he did like some sort of Batman thing, or like they get like Iron Man thing. Like he just goes and gets a whole, like he's like training in secret, and they build him up, and and he comes out and he's like in a mech suit, like ready to fight people. He's like, I couldn't fight before, but now I can. Like that'd be kind of dope to see.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Gosh, I don't know, man. Okay, so 8.1 from the Hop review.
Yeah. The hop score 8.1. Still need to get a sound for that. Like
we do. There's a lot we need to do, but we'll get there.
Just got to keep on going. Yeah.
Keep moving forward. Oh, I'm excited. All right, cool. Can't wait for next week. Let's talk about Kaijue number 8, baby. I just finished watching it a second time right before we started recording.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this one in the dub. I started with the sub, and then I hit the dub too on the second watch through. It's so good.
Do you feel the same way I do about the dub?
That it's better?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's arguably better for sure. Like it's very, very, very well done. Don't know what they're cooking up in the studio over there, but it's working. It's just good. Both are very good. I'm not saying the sub is not good. They're both so good. I even get kind of the same vibe when I'm watching it. Like so a lot of times, if you watch something in sub and then you go watch it in dub, the tone is different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very straightforward, very, very comparably similar, I think.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the anime is so funny. Like you've heard me like laughing before we even started recording.
I was
again.
sitting here listening to you watch it while you were eating.
Sitting here giggling.
Yeah.
Dude, Kafka is so funny, man.
He is hilarious, and the funniest part of that episode, in my opinion, is when what's his name? Is it Hoshina? When
the vice captain?
Yeah, I know I'm going a little bit forward. We'll come back and we'll start from the beginning, but
yeah, we'll circle back.
But there's a scene where Ichikawa, the real one, decides to stay with Kafka after he gets hurt and puts him on his shoulders and he's carrying him. And Hoshina is just dying laughing in the command center. And he's like, just go ahead and pass him. We need the comic relief on the force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is good.
So good. To be honest, so far this anime is just, in fact, this episode is probably going to be the highest score episode for me so far.
Okay. So we got introduced to potentially our antagonist or one of our antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
So they did not give him a name in the episode, but I did see a name in just an article. It was actually a casting review for like who they had cast as.
So did you see a character name? Because I saw something similar, but it was, I don't know.
It's not a name. It's a
moniker,
it's very
right?
similar to our main character.
Yeah, let's. I don't know. Do you want to say it or do we want to?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel like. I mean, I think it's obvious. It's pretty obvious. He's very similar to Kafka.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I don't know if the number is important. Maybe it is. I think the number is just simply like in a timeline order. It's like, oh well, he's Kaiju number 8 because he's the 8th Kaiju that
they found of this type, or
yeah, exactly. So, well, what comes after 8 is 9. So potentially this guy is the 9th Kaiju. Some sort of something like that.
Kaiju number 9. Yep. Yeah.
So we don't really know his motives. We don't know much about him except that he does have some way to bring back dead Kaiju.
Yeah.
And empower them because they came back
stronger. Make them stronger, dude.
Yeah.
He raised
that
it
was
from
crazy,
the dead.
right?
Was like, you know what? You're not dead. You're now coming back and you're going to be stronger than you were before.
For sure. And I believe. Is that when the creature, the Kaiju, came back as what's known as a Hanju?
Yeah, I think it was a Hanju before still. I think it was still a Hanju.
it was a higher fortitude. What is it? Is it fortitude?
It's just stronger. I don't know. I think it was fortitude.
I think
level,
that's the word they use for the scaling.
Yeah.
This episode was called Fortitude 9.8.
Yeah, but I think that was the rating that Kafka got when
I think
he
that's
got
Kafka, bro. I think it's Kafka, bro. He is him. What a beast.
Yeah.
What a beast. And Shinomiya.
It was nice.
Also,
I will say, as much as I love the character, it was nice that she finally took down a little peg.
Yes, but we also got to see she's kind of got that fight in her. And we got to see some motivation behind that. Like, why is she?
Flashbacks to her family life growing up.
Yep.
The family expectations of her being basically the best on the force, protecting the country, all that stuff. Yep.
Yep. And her dad is a man of importance. Whether he's still here or not, we don't know. Because it seemed like when she was kind of talking about him, she was looking up to the sky. That could mean multiple different things. It could mean that he is not with us anymore, or that she's just kind of looking out there, like, you're out there in the world somewhere.
You know what? That's a good point. I don't even think I caught that. That's what she was doing, because she was looking at the sky when she was talking to her dad. So that could be symbolism that he has passed on. Yeah.
Not sure. They didn't specify, but he did say in some flashbacks, like, you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's what she's striving for. And then you got to see when she was a kid, top of the list with her little friend. But then you got to see what was lacking in her life as her friend's dad called her over. She got to see the exchange between father and daughter. There's something there, she didn't necessarily have the same dad that other children would have had, and that's pretty apparent. Is maybe her driver or her motivator to want to be this perfect specimen for her dad. Whether that's we don't know if that's because like he's gone and she's just trying to honor him, or if he is still out there and she's trying to maybe achieve this certain level to get his approval. So
yeah, she definitely had higher expectations put on her than most would have at that age, for sure. Like, growing up, she was definitely held to a higher standard than most people would consider reasonable.
Yep. Yep. So we got some cool insight into Kikuru. So that was a highlight for this episode for me. I thought it was really, really cool to start seeing some backstory. She's a really cool character. It was cool to actually see her get smacked, though. To like you said, knock her down a peg.
Because she was so cocky, dude. She was just
She was.
I loved it.
And it's good. It's good to have that, bringing her down. And Kafka coming in for the rescue. And she actually, by the end of the episode, straight up taking Kafka's side, not outing him. She was like, yeah, that was me. I took it down. So
well, she better have. He saved her life.
Yes. Yep. And she's probably pretty intrigued by what's going on. I mean, she's clearly shocked. Like, what are you? What is this? What is going on? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He's just folding Kaiju. That's what he's doing.
He's just folding them left and right. They're t-shirts.
One-shotting, bro. God.
Hanging them out to dry. Like,
yes.
Dude,
and then the comedic moments, though, where he blows it up and then it starts reforming. He's like, no, please. And it stops. He's like, oh, cool, thank you. And then goes off and backhands the other, was it Yoju, or what are they called? Yeah, Yoju, the smaller ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then right there with Kikuru. Really cool.
It was funny because that scene reminded me of when we talked about episode 2, when he smacked that creepy spider or arachnid creature.
They made it rain blood again when he.
They made it rain blood again.
I am a fan of this anime, dude.
Yeah, man. They made it rain blood again. So far, each episode has been better than the last, in my opinion. I think the last episode may have been a little bit lower than the first two, but that's because it needed a little bit of setup.
Ramp up, yeah.
for
Gotta keep going.
this episode, which for the coup de grace, the ending, the most interesting drop. I was when it first happened so he kills the monster. After that, cutscene goes to this Kaiju number 9 sitting in the bathroom listening to the news on the phone with an earbud in, and it's just sitting there. It's like such a weird scene, and then someone calls him. It's like, oh, I'll be right out. He's in a bathroom, and he comes out and he transforms into what?
Kaiju cleanup crew, baby.
Kaiju cleanup crew. I didn't even give it a second. I was like, fuck, was he on the team the whole time?
Crazy, dude. Yeah. I mean,
but he wasn't. He's a new guy. They called him a newbie.
That's right. That's right.
So, but I was like, holy crap. Was he like undercover the entire time? He just didn't know.
So here's the thing though. He seems like not a guy like Kafka where this Kaiju flew into him and like, you know, he's a host for this new Kaiju. This guy has bad intentions and is up to something and knows how to manipulate the other Kaiju around him, and was shocked when there were no fatalities after he pulled his stunt at the exam. Similar, right? They're both Kaiju / human, but clearly different motives. Not sure. Like, I wonder if this guy has anything to do with the. I mean, what is it like? Ingesting Kaiju, the thing that happened to Kafka. Like, we know nothing about that at all.
Nope, nothing.
So it would just be pure speculation. I'd just be shooting in the dark. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that. But this Kaiju number 9 guy, he's up to something. Right? You're absolutely
obviously right. All signs point that he is definitely not on the side of good. He is trying to sow discord within the current state.
Yeah, great way to put it. Our vice captain guy, Hoshina.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna be a beast.
I'm interested to I was actually excited because when Kaiju number 9 showed up and they're like, everybody evacuate because all these Kaiju are coming back to life even stronger. And they were like, we're going to go out. I was excited to see both of them in action.
Yeah.
Both him and the captain in action. But then Kafka came in and was like, I had to save my girl Shinomiya.
It's him, bro.
So I had to save my girl Shinomiya, you know?
Yep. I get really good vibes from this show already. So I'm a fan. I'm going to go 8.5. I know I just jumped into my early review, but I mean, I guess unless there's anything deeper you wanted to talk about for the episode, I feel like we
hit everything. I think we hit everything. And I agree with you. 8.5 is exactly what I had already scored for this one. Yeah.
Perfect.
So we're in exact agreement on this one. I was so happy with this episode.
Yeah, just really good. I'm like skimming through to make sure we didn't miss anything. Yeah, it's just all good, dude. Really excited to see Reno do some other stuff too. I think he's going to be a really cool character. Let me just say the animation too it's awesome. It's fun. It's really good. It's like super badass at moments, and then when they do the comedic bits, it's just funny too. It's so well animated.
Yeah.
Perfect facial expressions, everything. And a lot of that has to, the credit has to be given to the mangaka, the original material there. This is a really cool verse that he's created, and really, really well thought out character designs as well. Okay, last thing. I was skimming through the episode. Mina visiting him in the hospital room.
Oh, that's we did miss that. Oh my gosh, yeah that's important.
What do you think? What do you think that was for? Obviously, she cares about him, but she was around the corner and she knew that he was like okay, so she could have just left and not known that she was there. I love that relationship that they're like kind of building out right now.
To be honest, it's so hard for me to read into her decisions because everything we've seen with her as an adult is so sullen in her expressions and the way she reacts to things.
Yep, it is.
It's difficult for me to say, like, here's what I think is the reason why she showed up. Like, I really don't know.
I don't have a really good answer either. So I'm right there with you. I did like though that she made a visit. It feels like she wants to say something, but just it's not the right time maybe to have like a deeper conversation. And you saw Kafka's response to her, and then he went into his head and he was like, no, not yet. Not yet.
Yep.
So just really cool. I'm a fan. I love Kafka. He's very quickly becoming a favorite main character of mine. So we'll see where this continues to go. Maybe it's because we're both 30 and it's relatable, dude. Fuck. Oh, it hurts. Oh,
yeah,
I love painful. I love him, man. I feel for my boy. He's just trying to make something of himself at the ripe
old age of 32.
Old age of 30. Fuck. Geriatric fuck. All right, so the scene immediately after that, we did touch on where Hoshina visited Kikaru and was like, hey, just basically wanted to say like everything is gone thanks to you, and kind of like baited her into like admitting something or not admitting something. And he said, that is correct, right? Like you did, take care of everything. Kikaru has the flashback in her mind and lies. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So
I wonder if that lie is going to cause any sort of like internal
I think so.
turmoil or anything, because with her need for perfection and taking credit for something that she didn't actually accomplish. Like,
ooh, you mean just like in her
own?
Okay. I was thinking more of Hoshina. He was like, huh, okay. He's not really buying it.
No, and he also when he was viewing the site where the Honju had been destroyed, he's like, this looks like the site that we
3 months ago
saw 3 months ago, the one where Kafka had punched the spider looking kaiju.
Oh yeah. Man, this is so good, dude. I'm a fan.
Anime. Well, official hop score 8.5.
8.5.
Solid episode. Definitely one of the highest rated we've done so far since we started the podcast too. So I think it may be the highest rated.
I think it is the highest. Yeah.
Don't worry, there will be more. There will be more.
And see, this is so good. We have so much to look forward to, bro. Oh man, I hope everyone else is enjoying this too. It's so good. It looks like so we have a 4.9 rating, 50.8 thousand reviews.
Jeez.
With a 4.9 star.
That's an insane amount of reviews too for it just being out yesterday. That's an insane amount of reviews. 93%
5 stars.
Yep, this is a new hype anime, man. We're all hyped about it right now. Everybody's in on it.
Yeah, everyone's in. And just real quick to go back to what you said, the top comment is, "Bahaha, just pass them. We need a comedy duo on the team."
Yeah, exactly. I told you that was the funniest part of the episode.
Yeah, it was good. Cool, man. I'm excited. So excited for next week. Next week's probably going to be a big one too. So I think we'll have Go Back alongside Kaijue and, of course, my hero for the review.
Well as Demon Slayer.
Dude, that's right. Oh my goodness.
Yep, don't forget, we got Demon Slayer next. So next week, we will have a full review episode. That's going
to be a chunker.
Yeah, it's probably going to be an extra long episode, so be prepared, guys.
Yeah, we got to figure that one out. Cool. Wow. This is it's a good time to be an anime fan.
Definitely.
It is a good time. Cool. Well, is there any updates? I do have an update. As you can see, it's right behind me. As far as cosplay stuff, I got my vest in.
And for those who are listening, he got his Village Hidden in the Leaf vest for
old Kakashi, baby.
Yeah, for his Kakashi cosplay. I got mine in as well.
Fits great.
It does.
I haven't put it on with the fourth Hokage cloak yet.
Well, you
But-
should try that later and let me know, because if it fits, then because I haven't ordered my cloak yet, unfortunately.
We could do it live right now. I can grab it. It's right over there. I'm looking at it.
Well,
Tempting.
tempting, but we could do it after.
Yeah, we're good. I'm actually sitting real comfy right now. So let's, we're closing in a little further. I did get all my contacts in. Did some test runs this weekend. I actually had a birthday party Friday night that I went to. And so I did a Eren Yeager cosplay. And that was cool. It was from my buddy Terrence. Shout out to him. A lot of fun. Another big anime fan. Yeah, it was really cool. Got to test run some contacts while I was out there. I could drive with them. I don't know if you should do that, but I can, and I did.
This is not an official recommendation.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's your life. Do what you want with it. I don't have a ton though, really. We might have more for cosplay stuff next week, but as far as any of that, we've covered a lot recently. There hasn't been any new things going on since then. So
yeah, still waiting for an official schedule. An official
that's right,
schedule for MomoCon to come out. They've announced some of the guests that are going to be there for the panels. They've announced some of the events, but they haven't released what events are happening when, and we haven't been able to chart out where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. Maybe next episode we'll see if they've released a schedule yet, and then we can talk more in detail on what we plan on trying to hit. But for now, we're still in the waiting game on that one.
Yep. I was going to say, the only thing I have coming up is this will be closer to the next episode than this one, but next weekend I am getting my tattoos. But it's really just a shading session, so it's not a new piece or anything. Just shading on some spots. Gonna just clean up around my knuckles and my fingers, just kind of pull everything together a little more and
gotcha.
Fill in some of this.
I didn't know if it was shading on some sort of anime piece that you had.
Just doing some background filler. So
gotcha. You're making me want to go get a tattoo,
dude. It's so addicting. It's bad. Anyways, got any updates on the fitness realm?
Been doing a lot of movement training. Just trying. That's mainly what I've been focusing on, fixing my deadlift posture.
Okay. Just working on form and whatnot.
Yeah, making sure the form is right. The personal trainer I've been working with actually figured out my issue with deadlifting is that I'm overcorrecting. So I'm arching my back further back than I should, rather than engaging my core and using that, which is what was causing all the strain on my lower back when I was deadlifting.
Okay.
So that was
Have you gotten some deadlift sessions in since then?
Not yet. So what I'm going to do is he gave me some training exercises where I just use lower weight, just an Olympic bar, put a tension band, have someone pull some tension. And what that does is when you're lifting and they're pulling on it, it forces you to engage your lats more.
Okay.
So they're going to do that. And then I'll just work on tightening my core and straightening my back rather than forcing my back into an arch backwards.
Okay.
So that's what I've been working on. A lot of movement stuff. Like my hip abductors, making sure I'm more stable. And as far as just working out, I'm still trying to gain, but I have not been gaining. And the truth is, I've just not been eating enough food. I've been.
I am right there with you, bro. Yeah. I haven't either. I've probably lost close to 5 pounds in the past week or two. I gain weight and lose weight very fast. I normally sit in like this 10-pound window where it can be a few days and I'll fluctuate 5 pounds up or 5 pounds down. And mine is the same thing. I haven't been eating nearly enough. I also, coming off of the back of last weekend, pulling a muscle somewhere in my upper back, shoulder / neck area. I was meted up last weekend, so I took it easy this week. Still definitely didn't do any upper body heavy lifting. Did a little bit of lower body, a lot of walking, and a lot of sauna. I had one 40-minute sauna session that was heaven.
Yeah, that sounds so nice. I skipped the sauna this whole week, and I was like upset at myself. So hearing you say I spent 40 minutes in the sauna, I'm like,
Yeah.
gosh,
Man, it was nice. It was one of those where I was gonna do 30 minutes, and right near the end of my window, these guys came in, and dude, we started having some of the best conversation, which sauna conversations hit, by the way, and so yeah, I ended up staying an extra 10 minutes, and I'm really glad I did. Actually, I felt so revitalized after getting out, and it was just good. So I took this time instead of heavy lifting to focus on other things. While I haven't been eating enough to gain weight, my diet has been really good though, as far as what I've been consuming. So that's a dub. Time outside, time in the sun. Now that we got springtime is in full motion.
Hell yeah.
Pollen is starting to go away. It's starting to get warm outside. So we're sitting out in the front yard, touching some grass, like bare feet in the dirt, chilling.
I'm ready for the backyard barbecues, baby. It's coming, and it's time.
It is time. It's been nice, man. Life is very, very good right now, so I'm not complaining.
Yep, ready for the good weather. Yeah, as far as training, though, I'm just going to keep on trying to fix my form. I'm not setting any new goals other than just trying to fix my form. Once that happens, I'm going to start setting like weightlifting goals. I think more deadlifts again, more squat weight. Yeah, that's probably what I'm trying to shoot for that 1,000-pound club, baby. That's what I want.
Nice.
I would eventually like to get there. My goal is end of the year 1,000-pound club.
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, we set out on this podcast journey with the goal of having new fitness goals each week. We quickly learned that life doesn't just go that smoothly. So and we're setting smaller goals and recovering, make sure we're recouped, good to go. The handstands are not out of the question, though. They are still on the table. Just got to get fully recovered first, because that is a very, very strenuous upper body movement.
Yeah,
so
very shoulder intensive for sure.
Yes. So we ain't trying to throw that out again. But yeah, man, this was good. I don't really have much else for fitness. Just make sure if you live a very sedentary lifestyle, at least get out and walk a little bit every day. Get out in the sun, go breathe some fresh air.
Touch some grass.
Touch some goddamn grass.
Yeah, touch some goddamn grass, you motherfuckers.
Please.
All right.
Drink some water. Stay hydrated.
I'd love to see some comments too. If people want to start telling us about your regiments, your routines, if they like anything like that, go ahead. We'd love to hear that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, tell us about what you thought about the episodes yourself. Give us your reviews on the latest episode of Kaiju number 8. Give us your review on the latest episode of My Hero.
Give us your review on how shitty of a job we may be doing, or if you're like, hey, this is not half bad.
Yeah. We would love any feedback, you guys. That would be awesome. And I think in the future episodes, we're going to start doing some polls and stuff, of course. Start asking people like favorite characters, favorite moments in the episode, stuff like that. Try and get some more feedback.
We need to use the Instagram more. I think that would be a good platform to do polls and stuff too.
Make sure that you check us out on Instagram. We're also going to be setting up Apple Podcast here soon as well. Haven't gotten that set up just yet, but check out next week. It should be set up by then. So if you are an Apple user and you want to check us out, go on our Instagram. We'll announce it there, and you can go find our podcast on there soon as well.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that is us signing out.
Yep, nothing more from me, bro.
Cool. All right. See y'all on the other side. Peace. sure to check us out on Instagram at Hidden Online Podcast or email us at CallieandQuinn@hiddenonlinepodcast.com.